What's up guys, Mr. Holton here, and today we're going to go through 13 awesome mods, but this time not for Mass Effect, but for Cyberpunk 2077. Now have in mind that CD Projekt Red has fixed a lot of the bugs that plagued the game back when it released last December, and some of these mods might be a little out of date. They do, however, provide some form of flavor for some of you who might have been thinking about going back to the world of Cyberpunk. Okay, so first things first, for any of you who don't know how to install Cyberpunk 2077 mods, here's how you do it. First, you go to nexusmods.com and download the first mod on our list, Cyber Engine Tweaks. And after downloading, you just drag the bin folder in the zip file and drop it into your Cyberpunk 2077 install directory. As there's already a bin folder there, the files will automatically be placed in the right folders inside the bin folder. There. That's how you do it. It's that simple. And most of these mods will just require you to drag and drop the files over to the directory, so it's not as hard as it looks. So with this first mod, what does Cyber Engine Tweaks do? Well, it works somewhat like an in-game version of the Mass Effect 3 mod manager. There's a slew of functions here, but its main function is to allow mod creators to script their mods. It also allows you to customize some mods that are already installed into your game, and it also provides an in-game console which you can bind to any key you want. Cyber Engine Tweaks is also needed in order to get most mods to work, so make sure you install this first. And just a reminder for all of you guys who go to nexusmods.com, remember to click on the endorse button if you are a premium member on Nexus Mods, because it helps promote the mods you really enjoy and it really helps the creators for those mods. So always remember to endorse, if you can, unless you're a cheap ass like me. Number 2. Cyberpunk Autonomous ReShade, True HDR. This mod introduces its own version of HDR, or High Dynamic Range. But as I'm not very good with graphics, I'll just let the pictures here show you the difference. But when I installed it myself, I could immediately notice a drop in the noticeable green mist that's otherwise in the base game. It sort of makes the game look more clean in my opinion. So if you're after a more clean look to your game, this mod's for you. Number 3. Appearance Menu Mod. Just like Cyber Engine Tweaks, Appearance Menu Mod gives you the ability to do several different things. One of them is spawning in NPCs wherever you are, and you can set these NPCs to be either friendly or hostile. You can also spawn in stuff like vehicles, and I gotta say, the creators to this mod, Maximilian and Control-Alt-Daz, are creative geniuses. The minute I saw that you could spawn in the Basilisk tank, I almost squealed with joy. And you can just drive around to your heart's content and blow stuff up, because for some reason, NCPD just can't be bothered chasing a massive battle tank. Anyway, other things that you can do with the Appearance Menu mod is stuff like swapping NPC models and decorate your apartment. Which brings me to the next mod on our list. Number 4. V's Luxurious Apartment. Now this mod definitely doesn't really need a longer description, except that it requires the Appearance Menu mod to use it. It's basically a revamped version of V's apartment, but don't worry, it's still in the same building with the same door and everything. This mod is really great for anyone who wants to roleplay as a rich and wealthy V. There are some issues though. One of them seems to be interacting with the new PC, as I couldn't exit the interaction after doing so. So if you do decide to download this mod, just don't interact with the PC. Or maybe, it's just a problem on my end. Anyway, it's a cool mod and I am looking forward to exploring it fully when I can get it working again. Number 5. Cyber Vehicle Overhaul. Hey, have you ever felt that there was something off with the vehicles in Cyberpunk? Just slightly? Yeah, me too. This mod does what the name suggests. It overhauls the handling of the vehicles in Cyberpunk. This includes speed, power, and brakes. So for some vehicles, there's an increased top speed while also giving you better brakes. No longer will you feel like you're slipping on a banana peel whenever you brake. And no longer will you slide across the map just because you try to take a left. Well, unless you drive at max speed. Huh, that was unexpected. You see what I mean? And while we're on the topic of vehicles, let's go to the next mod. Number 6. The DocWorks Multipack. This mod remakes several vehicles in-game, or well, it puts a new skin over them. As you may have noticed, the car that I was driving around in is actually the Caliburn, which is one of the fastest cars in Cyberpunk. After installing this mod, however, the Caliburn gets a new look inspired by a real-world car known as the Lamborghini Cala. This is not the only vehicle that gets replaced, however, as the Archer Hella becomes the 2003 Toyota Corolla S. If you ever owned a Toyota Corolla, then this mod will make you feel right at home in Night City. There are other vehicles that gets replaced, but you will have to download the mod to check them out. Number 7. Alternate crowd behavior and other tweaks. So this mod changes around the behavior of the day-to-day NPCs in Night City. There are different versions of this mod, but essentially it makes the NPCs feel more alive by changing their patrols and how often they spawn in and out of the game. A word of caution, however. You might drop a few FPS by using this mod as it makes the NPCs more dynamic. And that's it. Number 8. Level scaling and balance. This mod is a must-have for any of you who feels that Cyberpunk becomes way too easy when you've come far enough into the game. Before installing this mod, I could wipe entire squads of people with only a few buttons, since I was way over-leveled. This is of course dependent on which area you're in, but this mod changes that. Now, no matter where you are in the game, enemies' levels are scaled up, so as not to lose any and all challenge. Now you will have to get the right perks and weapons in order to one-shot enemies, which makes it that much more satisfying when you actually do manage to kill them in one strike. Enemies also get stronger as their levels are scaled up, so you will have to avoid damage as much as possible. Number 9. Instant disassembling and crafting. This mod is super simple, but it's really effective. As the name suggests, disassembling and crafting items becomes instantaneous as the mod removes the need to hold down your buttons. There, that's it. That's what the mod does, but it saves you a lot of time. Number 10. Respector. If you're one of those people who feel stuck with their build, yet you don't want to grind for hours to afford the money to resetting your perks, or if you want to change your attributes entirely but you don't want to restart the game, then this mod is for you. What Respector allows you to do is to reset both your perks and your attributes. Now you can safely continue with your game without having to worry about restarting the entire thing just because your current attributes wasn't to your tastes. And honestly, thank God for this mod, because I didn't want to start over with my female V once again, because you can't change your attributes in the vanilla version of the game. Number 11. Cyberpunk 2077 Texture Override. Now this mod is just a prerequisite for another mod, so make sure you download this in order to get the next one to work. But in a nutshell, this mod lets you use different texture mods like clothing mods and so on. Which leads us into the next mod. Number 12. Clothing Set and Recolor Catalog. This mod is pretty huge and it gives you a lot of new clothes for you to customize your V's look. Some of these are items that are unobtainable in the game, like Hanako's dress and so on. Unfortunately, you will have to download each and every clothing set one by one, and as there are over 40 sets to choose from, it can be kind of a drag to download all of them. Also, you will have to spawn in each of the clothing pieces one at a time in the in-game console. So if anyone could compile all of these clothes into one huge zip file, I would be very grateful. Still, I love clothing and texture mods, so for anyone who feels the same way, then this mod is a must-have. Alright, we've reached the final mod, the one you saw in the thumbnail. Number 13, the N7 Armor mod. As most of my viewers are fans of Mass Effect, this mod is a special treat. We can finally cosplay as Commander Shepard. But just like with the last mod, you will have to add every armor piece one by one through the console. You also need to know that the armor that you equip are just basic clothes, so you're not going to be very protected with this in combat. Well, unless you upgrade it, of course. And that's it for this video. Tell me, what Cyberpunk mod is your favorite? It doesn't have to be a mod on this list, it can be any mod whatsoever. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. And as always, have a great day guys. Mr. Olton, signing out.